What's up, my Century Unit? It's the Centuryman here, so back again with another classic WWE pay-per-view review. So I'm guessing we're getting close of the 20th anniversary of a pay-per-view I'm going to talk about right now. That is WWE Judgement Day 2002 at the Gaylord Entertainment Center. I'm glad they changed the name of the arena. Right now it's called the Bridgestone Arena on the 19th of May. Do not tell Kane about this. 2002. The attendance for the show was 14,521. Judgment Day 2002 received about 370,000 pay-per-view buys, a downgrade than the 2001 Judgment Day show. That is the final Judgment Day under the WWF banner. The main event of that show was Stone Cold Steve Austin taking on The Undertaker. I'm guessing this is a no-holds-barred match for the WWF title. Judgment Day 2001 received about 405,000 pay-per-view buys. Really, that was a downgrade. Oh yeah, just a little bit. I think Judgment Day 01 was one of the final pay-per-views before the start of the Invasion storyline. Anyway, so the commentators for Judgment Day 2002 are Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler. This is the first pay-per-view under the WWE banner. I'm guessing this is the first Judgment Day since the formation of the first brand split. Before we get to the matches on the show, I'm going to talk about the segment on this show. It's featured about Booker T and Goldust. So at this moment in time, Booker T is the new member of the NWO, WWE's version of the NWO. I don't know why they keep doing this at this moment in time, because the NWO was on life support at this time because Hogan betrayed the NWO, ditched the black and white, go back to the red and yellow Hulk Hogan. Scott Hall left the company, basically got fired for drug abuse and substance abuse, and also he was part of these wrestlers in the whole shit, the plane ride from hell. Don't want to get into it. Go and watch Dark Side of the Ring for more information. Nash, Kevin Nash was injured. He was in and off of the NWO. He was injured at this moment in time with a bicep injury. Yeah, he came back, and then he went in his first match back since the bicep injury, torn his quad. Yeah, the group was on life support. Booker T makes no sense why he was part of the NWO. He's never was part of the original NWO in WCW. Yeah, his brother was in NWO. That is Stevie Ray. It's just the last it's just the last attempt, to revive, make fans give a fuck about the NWO. But yeah, like I said, it's online support. They glad they brought X-Pac and the Big Show. The Big Show was the giant in WCW. X-Pac was 6 in WCW, but they were used to be in the original NWO. So anyway, in this segment, Booker T, fighted this girl who I think she was mixed race. She was beautiful. I think they were at the Marriott Hotel, and then they were about to have sex, and then you had Goldust's voice. I'm not gonna do the impression, man. Yeah, Goldust, Goldust. Yeah, he said like, I want you to lead the NWO. He's wearing like fucking, I think he was wearing like a bra, Goldust, and the blonde wig. This was the start of the tag team between Goldust and Booker T. Watch it. It's so funny. Their chemistry is good. They're in like a convenience store. Goldust, it's a spin off his gay gimmick, what he did in 95, 96. I think he said about it was the wrong time to make calls, and Booker T says, "Oh, I can't really do Booker T's." He's like, "You're a freak," like he's got like that voice. It's very hard to do impressions. I don't really do impressions. So he left the hotel room. I think it was nearly naked. Like they never censored off his butt cheeks. It's just what it is. So it was a funny segment on the show. Anyway, so Anyway, so the first match to kick off the pay-per-view, we got Eddie Guerrero defending the Inter-Continental Championship against Rob Van Dam. Eddie won the title from RVD at Backlash the previous month. I really like this match. I think both Eddie and RVD got some good chemistry. Eddie's like it's basically WCW versus ECW. Eddie did have a run in ECW for a little bit before going to WCW. Eddie used to be a WCW guy. RVD used to be an ECW guy. I like the chemistry. It's back and forth between both Eddie and RVD. Both have like same finishes. RVD has he does the 5-star frog splash, and Eddie hits like a normal frog splash. So both of them trying to hit their finishers. RVD trying to hit the 5-star frog splash. Eddie got out of the way, and then I think Eddie shouted like feeling froggy, trying to hit his frog splash, but RVD got out of the way. In the end, Eddie cheats to retain the IC title. He rolled up RVD with a backslide pin, and at the same time put his legs on the ropes without the referee noticing to win this match and retain the IC title. It's short for Intercontinental title, but it'd be short to call it IC, but I'm gonna call it I'm gonna call it the IC title. So Eddie retains the title. This is set up the ladder match. I think it was a couple weeks later on Raw. They had the rematch for the IC title. RVD went on to regain the IC title on an episode of Raw. So the next match, this is for the women's title. Trish Stratus defending the belt against Stacy Keibler with Reverend Devon and Deacon Batista in the corner of Stacy Keibler. In Trish's corner, you got Bubba Ray Dudley. So, like I said, this is the first Judgment Day ever since the first brand split was formed. And I think during the first brand split, they end up breaking up tag teams. Like, great example, in 2004, they break up World's Greatest Tag Team, that is Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas. They broke up the Dudleys, I think Bubba Ray was on Raw, Devon was on SmackDown. Bubba Ray was teaming up with Spike. I think they were in the hardcore division. That is Bubba Ray and Spike. Devon was on SmackDown, doing the whole reverent gimmick. I think it's very forgettable. People don't talk about the gimmick of Devon. That was a mistake. They end up reform the Dudleys, later on in the year. But having them break up the tag team, Bubba on Raw, Devon on SmackDown. But Devon was doing the reverend gimmick. That's the reason why Devon's catchphrase, "All my brothers testify." He introduced Batista. This is Batista's first pay-per-view appearance. He debuted, I think it was a month in April. I don't know what month. It's also the same month as Randy Orton's. He debuted. I think both Orton and Batista debuted the same time. Not the same day, but the same month of April. Cena debuted in June, by the way. Anyway, so I think it's funny, basically this is before the match. There was a segment that I think Devon called. He basically called Trish a Jezebel. And by the way, Trish defeated Jazz for the women's title on the Go Home show to Raw. I think it was on the May 13th episode of Raw. So I'm guessing, I don't know who, I'm guessing Stacy is the number one contender. I think they end up feuding later on in the year, so anyway, I don't want to get into it. So they had this, I think it was a bra and panties match on the Go Home show to SmackDown before the pay-per-view. They'll build to this. This was an okay match between Trish and Stacy because they kind of carried Stacy to an okay passable match. The match was short for the best, but there was interference. You had Batista body slam Trish, and then I felt Trish was outside the ring throwing his sulk, and then you had Bubba go hey like that. Not a Nelson's laugh from The Simpsons. I'm referring to Nelson for The Simpsons. Nelson go ha ha It's basically that laughing at Stacy Keibler, and then Stacy smacked Bubba, because at the time, like I said, they broke up the Dudleys. Stacy Keibler used to managing the Dudleys. I think he's managing. I don't think he was managing Devon at the time. I don't know. That was way back in 2002. Anyway, so try to keep it short and simple. In the end, Trish Stratus hit the Bulldog. I think the announcers call it the Stratus faction for the win. For the Bears, Trish retained the women's title. Sorry, it's been a tonsil moment. And then afterwards, there was teasing like the Dudleys reform once again, but instead, I'm guessing like Batista ambush Bubba. The moments like you had Bubba and Batista like had their moments, punch and punch. Bubba, that's the future Bully Ray in TNA, by the way. Bubba Ray Dudley. Anyway, Bubba Ray clothesline Batista out of the ring. Reverend Devon clothesline Bubba Ray Dudley. And then and they end up like they kind of put Bubba Ray through a table. Batista and Devon hit the 3D onto Bubba Ray, and that was it. So the whole Reverend Devon gimmick, you will never see this gimmick in today's pro wrestling, whether it's in WWE or Impact or even in AEW, because don't do this, don't really make fun of religion, because it's just had no business in pro wrestling. It's just kind of like, you gotta be careful, because you don't want to, because some people find it's offended, but yeah, it was not really getting over. It's basically testing the waters, Unfortunately, Devon never cut it as a single star, Yeah, like I said, later on in the year, they end up reformed the Dudleys. Yeah, and they end up breaking up years later. I think 8 years later in TNA. Yeah, like nothing lasts forever. So Batista end up turning on Devon, going to Raw, Evolution, and then he become a 6-time world champion in his first run in the company. So next match, this is a tag team match. We got the Hardys taking on Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. So on the Go Home show to Raw, I think the Hardys were fighting Brock Lesnar, and I think it was a handicap match, but instead Heyman pulled the referee, and then Heyman challenged the Hardys for a match on the show. So yeah, 3 weeks now, really for a month, you had Lesnar talking to the Hardys, The match was okay. I think it was an okay match. Brock came out with generic theme music. I'm glad they changed the theme music, for the best. It's very, the theme music you hear right now in our current timeline, to the rest of his first run, to the second run currently right now. He's not wrestling right now. I think he's taking some time off. Anyway, so, like I said, it's an okay match. I think this is better off being a handicap match, in my opinion. But Paul Heyman's not a wrestler. Like Stacy Keibler is, going back to the last match, is not a wrestler. She's more like a manager / personality. But Heyman is not a, he's a manager and soon to be future 40 figure. That'll be later on in the Ruthless Aggression era on SmackDown. He has some the Hardy has some moments. This should be a squash match. The Hardys has some offense. They hit the poetry emotion onto Paul Heyman. I'm trying to keep it short and simple, guys. In the end, Brock hit the F5 onto Jeff Hardy. I think he kind of throw Jeff Hardy onto the ropes, accidentally knocking Matt off the ring apron, hit the F5. Heyman, Brock tagging Paul Heyman, and Heyman pinned Jeff for the win. And that was the end of the Hardys rivalry. I think this is one of the Hardys' last matches as a tag team, because I think later on in the year, I think Matt turned on his brother Jeff. He went on to go to SmackDown, did the V1 gimmick. They had to reunite 4 years later, or 5 years later, in 2006, 2007, the stuff, the rivalry with Eminem. Then, it's the first of many breaking up and reunions for the Hardys in WWE, years later in TNA, and right now in AEW. So the next match, this is technically a handicap match, because the last match was a tag team match, So, So the next match, we got a handicap match. We got Stone Cold Steve Austin taking on Ric Flair and the Big Show. This is this power struggle between Ric Flair and Stone Cold Steve Austin. So Flair drafted Austin on Raw, and then Austin Stone Cold Stunner Flair. Then at Backlash, Flair cost Austin the match with the Undertaker. That was for the number one contender. Sorry, I'm stumbling by the way. Yeah, it's for the number one contender for the Undisputed WWE Championship on the show. So Flair cost Austin the title. So yeah, and added a Big Show into this group. And also Flair was social. He's not really officially a member of the NWO, but he's associating with the NWO. Makes no sense because in the old WCW, in the mid to late 90s, Flair was feuding with the NWO, NWO Four Horsemen rivalry in the mid to late 90s. Why is he associated with the NWO? Beats me. Don't want to get into it. So there was one segment earlier. You said you had Flair and Vince. They were now the heel authority figures because for months Flair and Vince were feuding. Also, then there's one segment earlier on the show. Yeah, Flair said to Vince, "You're right. Austin is a no-go. Was it no-going? He's a one lousy son of a bitch, something like that. I think it's known-going son of a bitch. Anyway, so let's get to this match. So the match was this was boring, by the way. I'm not saying it was a bad match. It was okay, but this was 15 minutes long. I cut this match in half, or really give it cut 5 minutes off this match. It was so much. It was entertaining, but at the same time, a bit slow. There was funny moments in the match. So Austin grabbed the chair, trying to hit Flair and Big Show, and the referee at the time was Charles Robinson, the former Little Nate in WCW. Snapped the chair off Austin's hands. He grabbed another one. He sit down on the chair, give Charles Robinson the middle finger. Then later on in this match, he grabbed the beer. I think the referee told Austin you cannot drink during the match. It was kind of funny, but it's kind of holding this really showboating to stalling. It's basically this stalling that really hurt this match. So bulk of the match, you had Big Show working on the leg of Austin, and then Flair locked in the figure four leg lock, and then minutes later, Austin locked in his own figure four leg lock onto Flair. And then you got X-Pac. He was 6 in WCW. Anyway, so X-Pac was trying to. I'm guessing Flair is the authority figure. He's allowed this, so X-Pac was trying to hit Austin with I don't know, it was a super kick or spinning heel kick. He tried to kick Austin, but instead he accidentally kicked the Big Show. Austin hit 3 stunners on both, X-Pac, Big Show, and Flair. Austin got the victory, and that was it. So, yeah, this was Austin's final match. And then I think it was a few weeks later, he walked out of the company. Walked out. So, I'm gonna explain right now. So, I think he said in his book that he wants to feud with Eddie Guerrero, because after that, Flair allied himself with Eddie Guerrero, and also the returning of Chris Benoit, because Benoit returned after the neck injury. He missed the whole of 2001, the whole Invasion storyline, and a few months of 2002 with the neck injury. He came back from the neck injury. I think there was plans to have Austin feud with Eddie Guerrero. I think Austin pitched the whole idea, but instead, I think on an episode of Raw, I'm guessing that was a qualifier or the first match of the King of the Ring tournament. They're trying to put Austin in a match with Brock Lesnar. Yeah, it was wrestling fans' dream match over the years, but we never got that, because they both wear black trunks. But I forgot to mention this. I'm going to talk about right now during the whole tag team match. Lesnar, Heyman, Hardy match. The fans chanting Goldberg. We never got something out of the Lesnar Goldberg match at Mania 20. Anyway, so Austin totally against the whole idea about this, having like basically, I'm guessing like Lesnar defeat Austin because he doesn't like it because there is no build to this, and why you point Austin in the King of the Ring tournament, because he already won the King of the Ring tournament way back in 1996. He's already a megastar right now. So basically, Austin walked out the company. He took his ball and went home. So basically, after that, the WWE started to bury Austin on commentary, buried on TV. You won't see Austin again until 2003, feuding with Bischoff, and then he had his final match until Kevin Owens in WrestleMania 38, just last month, in our current timeline, 19 years later against The Rock at Mania 19. That would be his last match until facing Kevin Owens at Mania 38. Just this year. So yeah, it's a damn shame, but Austin was so frustrated about creative, so yeah, he walked out. He's basically, you can tell like the company not really pushing Austin, because they're focused on the new talent, because at this moment in time the Attitude Era is officially no more. It's finished. They're focused on new stars, because at this moment in time Rock was part-timing, focused on his movie career, and Austin walking out, and then soon to retire for 19 years until the one-off against Kevin Owens. So we get, the Attitude Era will become the Ruthless Aggression Era. So I feel sorry for Austin, because not in the main event of WrestleMania, not in another title match at WrestleMania, to job into the Undertaker, and this whole stuff with Flair. So yeah, that's my ramble about it, my spiel on it. So it's a shame, it's not the last time we see Austin. He came back, like I said, 2003. Anyway, so far the next match has turned out to be one of the best matches of the night. Not the best match of the night, but one of the best matches of the night. So because so far, the IC title match was the best, a good opener. The other three matches, the women's title match, Lesnar, Heyman, Hardys, and also the handicap match between Austin, Flair, and Big Show, they're okay, but I don't really call it a bad. Those matches are not bad. So yeah, the next match we got Edge versus Kurt Angle in a hair versus hair match. So at Backlash the previous month, Angle won the first match against Edge. Then on an episode of SmackDown, Angle's unveiled his new t-shirt. Edge stole the real t-shirt, and the fake t-shirt says "You sucked." And then they up the ante to have a hair versus hair match. To get some heat, Angle ended up cutting some. I think you got Lance Storm presenting the Angle's real t-shirt, but that's not really getting over like the "You suck" t-shirts. So yeah, and then the build to this, you had Angle cutting a little bit of Edge's locks. And also there was like photographs, screenshots, of what they're gonna end up without no hair. It's kind of like seeing Angle turn out to have. He end up becoming the bald Angle you see right now. It's like they'll up the ante a little bit, and showing the pictures of what they can be without any hair after if one of them lose the hair versus hair match on this show. So I really like this match. Edge. He doesn't do a lot of high-fly spots anymore. He ended up stopping it. I think he stopped it after he came back from the neck injury in 2004. He did like the springboard crossbody off the top rope onto Angle outside the ring. He did the drop kick off the top rope. There was a referee bump. You had Edge accidentally speared the referee. I think that was Brian Hebner. Brian Hebner is the son of Earl Hebner. So, and then, a referee bump, and then you had Angle hits his own spear onto Edge, and then Edge, and then he hit Angle, Angle hit Edge with the Angle slam. Sorry, I'm stumbling. I was speaking fast, by the way. I need a drink. My throat's a bit dry. Yeah, Angle hit the Angle slam onto Edge. He kicked out for the near fall. And I think Edge hit the spear onto Angle. That's also another near fall. this was really getting good. In the end, I think Edge rolled up Angle for the win, and Angle must get his head shaved off, shaved bald. Bald and hair. Yeah, he needs to get his head shaved off, bald. So there's one segment after this. This is after the next match. We'll get to the next match shortly. It was funny. So Angle is really good. I like Angle, as a heel. He can be the serious heel, and also he can be the comedy heel. So there's one segment later on in the show that Angle basically was hiding from Edge. He was wearing like a net. I think he was wearing a net, the thing on your head. Looking for. He's pretending to be someone having a makeup. Wearing like a hairnet and like a cloth around his you go to a barber. They put like a sheet around your body to stop getting hairs around your clothes. Edge was like looking for Angle, and then when the coast is clear, trying to escape, and then Edge, I think he shouted, Angle, you son of a bitch. And then they're fighting on the I think they were fighting on the barber chair set on the stage. Edge basically choked Angle with a sleeper hold, and you got this normal barber. In my opinion, I wish they had Barber, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, with a cameo. That'd be really cool. But that's just me. It's just a normal barber instead of Brutus Beefcake. I think to this day he's still with bad terms with the company. Still not in the Hall of Fame. That's debatable, but anyway, so Edge shaved off Angle bald, and that was it. And by the way, that was Angle's final match with hair. He become the Angle you see right now with the bald head. I think that was the last. I think they fight one more. The fight later on in 2002, but that's not on the same level. Edge went on to be, I think he was IC champion, and then he went on to be in the tag team division. This is later on in 2002. He was tag team champions with Hulk Hogan. I think he was tag team champions with Rey Mysterio. And then the neck injury, and then you see Edge, the Edge you see right now, before the whole stuff with the Judgment Day in our current timeline. So I really like this match. Very physical, back and forth, Edge and Angle. It's a shame that they had another rivalries over the years, but it has to do with they're both on Raw, but at this moment in time they were heels. It's funny that they end up Angle leave the company in 2006, and then by the time Angle returned, Edge still retired, and then Edge came back, Angle retired. So they never had another rivalry after that. So moving on to the Hell in the Cell match. So we have Triple H versus Chris Jericho. So they did so at Backlash the previous month, Triple H won the Undisputed title at WrestleMania 18 against Chris Jericho, and then the following month at Backlash he dropped the belt to Hogan. I think at the same time, I looked up on Wikipedia that he was in this intertwined feud between Jericho and The Undertaker. I'll get to that. I will cover their match at King of the Ring 02. That's another topic for another time. So, on an episode of SmackDown, so basically, Vince threatened something like show him respect, or there's going to be hell to be paid. I think Triple H says, are you going to destroy me, Vince? Or anything come out of your mouth is bullshit. You got people, the locker room from SmackDown beating the fuck out of Triple H. Jericho's one of them. Hits Triple H in the head with a chair and locked him in the walls of Jericho. Vince announced he will face Jericho inside Hell in a Cell. For weeks now, Jericho and Triple H, Jericho beating down Triple H in his matches to build up to the Hell in a Cell match on this show. I think Jericho kind of used Triple H's catchphrase, "I'm just damn good." I think he used that in his run with Evolution. That is, "I'm just damn good." That is his catchphrase, one of his catchphrases. This match was good. This is match of the night between Triple H and Chris Jericho. Way better than that match at WrestleMania 18. I think that match was decent, but it was anticlimactic. Jericho kicked out one pedigree. And also at the same time, it was more between Triple H and Stephanie than Triple H and Jericho. like this match, it was blood in this match. Triple H was bleeding, Jericho was bleeding. This Hell in a Cell match is memorable for Tim White, the referee. I think Triple H or Jericho accidentally knocked Tim White, the referee, off the ring apron. He kind of crashed into the Hell in a Cell wall, and I think Jericho got pissed off, kind of hit Tim White even more. Tim White was bleeding, and then I think he injured his shoulder. I'll get to more of Tim White after this match. So there was chairs, ladders, steel steps. There was like a crazy. They were fighting outside the cell. Triple H, I think he kind of DDT Jericho onto the announce table. They were fight, and also there was a barbed wire baseball bat. They were fighting on the top of the Hell in a Cell structure. I thought it was going to be a crazy spot, but instead it wasn't a crazy bump on the top of the structure. But like I said, it wasn't. In the end, Triple H hit the pedigree onto Jericho onto the roof of Hell in a Cell for the win. So this was the end of the rivalry between Jericho and Triple H. Yeah, they fight sometimes, like the fight like in 2004 time, but unfortunately the intensity was not on the same level. That was just a one-off, like a match. But the next time they truly feud will be in 2009. The whole DX Jericho match. The TLC match for the Undisputed Tag Team titles at TLC. Go and check my review of WWE TLC 2009. Triple H went on to feud with The Undertaker and then Shawn Michaels and then kick off the Reign in Terror. That's another topic for another time. As for Tim White, and also Jericho went on to go to the SmackDown brand a month later, and I don't want to get in more about this. So I think he was on SmackDown a little bit then. No, he was on SmackDown before. My bad. He was on SmackDown. He went on to be drafted to Raw on the same brand as Triple H. Because at this moment in time there were heels in the second half of 2002. Yeah. As for Tim White, the referee, this was one of his last matches as a referee. I think he suffered a separated shoulder. He got injured in this match with Jericho and Triple H. He made his return in 2004, and he refereed the Jericho Christian match at WrestleMania 20 in 2004. And I think he is one of his first match back. He re-injured his shoulder, and he never refereed a match ever again. Did the whole suicide segments with Josh Matthews. Don't want to get into it. Another story for another time. So moving on to, I'm going to keep it short and simple. This is looks like an impromptu match, by the way. This is for the WWE Tag Team titles. We got Billy and Chuck, that is Billy Gunn and Chuck Palumbo, defending the WWE Tag Team titles against Fukishi and his mysterious opponent. You thought it's going to be one of the members of Too Cool. Unfortunately, that's not the case. It was Rico, their manager at the time. Match was short. No one gives a crap. Rikishi got the victory. I think he accidentally kicked Rico instead. Rikishi won the belts by himself, and that was it. In the end, he grabbed the hat, did the dance, and that was it. So that lasted about a month time, and he ended up Billy and Chuck went on to win back the tag team titles. It was just about Billy and Chuck. They're not bad. I give them credit for doing that gimmick, but for me, they don't do nothing for me. I'm not crapping on being for bashing gays, but it's just it doesn't work for me. They're just kind of damaged goods. I don't know. They're just kind of enhancement talents. I don't really take them as seriously. It's just what it is. So moving on to the main event. This is for the Undisputed WWE Championship. Like I said, this is the first pay-per-view under the WWE name. Hulk Hogan, the WWE Champion, defending the belt against The Undertaker. So Hogan won the belt at Taker won the number one contender match against Austin at Backlash the previous month. Hogan won the title from Triple H after the help by The Undertaker. So I think for weeks now you had basically it's all over, focused on a motorcycle. You know, you basically had Hogan smashed Undertaker's motorcycle. Then Taker beat down Hogan, tied his legs onto his motorcycle, dragged him, ride the motorcycle, dragged Hogan on into the hallway, and crashed into a piles of boxes. And also, this is their first match since 1991. Taker defeat Hogan at Survivor Series 1991 to win his first world title in his career after the help by Hulk Hogan. Ric Flair, because at the time Flair and Hogan was feuding, real world title storyline. Then Hogan bitched, in his book that Undertaker botched the Tombstone Power Driver. Hogan went on to win back the title at Tuesday Night in Texas. That was a show after the Survivor Series. I covered those shows at the end of last year. Go and check it out. And those matches sucked, by the way. So this is the renewed rivalry. And I'm going to be honest, way better than the matches at Survivor Series 91 and the second match at Tuesday Night in Texas. It has to do with, for once, Undertaker's first world title reign was overshadowed by Hulk Hogan's politicking bullshit. And also the matches, like I said, sucked because it has to do with Hogan was never known for his wrestling. In Undertaker's early run in the WWE, he was kind of like this slow horror monster, zombie horror monster, just doing slow pace, just doing slow big man moves, and then afterwards he ended up doing the high moves like the suicide dives and the old school. I don't know. You did the whole old school in this match. In this match you had both Hogan and Taker basically whip each other with Hogan's weightlifting belt. I like this match. I'm not saying it's a great match, but I think it was a decent match. Some people give it 2 stars. I think there's a little harsh about this. I give it 3.5. It was bogged down by the interference by Vince McMahon. Vince came out of nowhere. You had Hogan hit the non-sell the Undertaker's punches, hit the did the U, the point, big boot, hit the leg drop, take a kick out. I think he hit the leg drop again, but Vince distracted the referee. And then for the third time, Hogan hit the leg drop onto Vince, and then in the end, Taker, he hit Hogan in the back with a chair, chokeslam Hulk Hogan, pins Hogan, and Undertaker become the World Wrestling Federation. Not World Wrestling Federation. The WWE Champion for the 3rd time in his career. My bad. So sorry, I'm speaking too fast, by the way. I'm just a fast talker. So anyway, so it was good, but this is the 3rd pay-per-view in a row that the title changed hands, because Triple H won the world title at WrestleMania 18 in March. Then in April, Hogan won the title from Triple H after Taker hit Triple H in the head with a chair. And now Taker defeat Hogan on this show for the title. So, yes, they kind of hot potato the belt, 3 pay-per-views in a row. I think there were 6 champions at the time, because at this moment in time, ECW and WCW was officially no more. Yeah, TNA and ROH was forming, but they're not on the same level, because TNA was forming in June of that year. So, Taker hold the belt until he dropped the title to The Rock at Vengeance in July, and then Rock dropped the title to Brock in August. And then Brock will hold the belt until dropping the belt to the Big Show in November at Survivor Series at MSG. And then a month later, Angle won the belt from the Big Show at Armageddon. So yeah, they really changed the title so many times. Sometimes, if you do it all the time, you completely derail the belt, devalue the title. It's luxury. So, if you do it once or twice, it'll be okay. It will be okay. But doing it every single time, it kind of waters down the belt. So. You can tell that that was just a nostalgia act thing. You can tell Hogan's not going to have a lengthy run as the champion. They're given one more time as the champion. And by the way, I forgot to mention this. This was Hogan's last title reign ever. He never won a world title ever again as a pro wrestler. So drink it in. It's for the best. So as for Undertaker, this is his final WWE title victory in his career. He never won another WWE title ever again. He went on to win world titles in 2007, 2008, and 2009. That's another story for another time. I think it was the right call to have the belt, put the belt on the Undertaker, because how over as his heel run. His heel run was very underrated. He was hardcore champion at the end of 2001. And then going into the spring of 2002, he was the world champion. So I think putting the belt on him was the right decision. Yeah, his reign was a bit shortened. He dropped the belt in July. His only title defense, I think it was against Triple H at King of the Ring. That's another story for another time. So I think the reason why Vince was there, and this is planting the seeds of Vince's feud with Hulk Hogan the following year in 2003. His match with WrestleMania 19. The stuff with Roddy Piper, and then the whole Mr. America storyline. I don't want to get into it. Another story for another time. Anyway, so my final rating for WWE Judgment Day 2002, I give it an 8 out of 10. Some people give it 6 out of 10. I think it's better than Backlash 02 in my opinion. I think it was a stronger show than Backlash 02. The only thing in the bad for me has to be the tag team title match. It was pointless. The okay is the okay, like, Trish versus Stacy Keibler for the women's title. Brock and Paul Heyman taking on Hardys. And Austin taking on Flair and Big Show. Besides that, it was a strong show. I'll put Taker and Hogan's match in the good. I think it was a decent, fun match, It was, a decent, fun match, I don't really put it an okay. It was okay, but I think it excels, better than the matches in 1991, speaking of the okay, I like the IC title match between Eddie Guerrero versus RVD. I like the hair versus hair match between Angle versus Edge. I really like the Hell in a Cell match between Triple H and Jericho. And also like the whole stuff with Booker T and Goldust in a hotel. It was fun. So I suggest watching Judgment Day 02 on the network if you got it. So for all like the IC title match, the Hell in a Cell match, the hair versus hair match. Debatable. You can probably watch the main event. So it was nothing special. But like I said, it's way better than the matches in 1991. So. Anyway, so hope you enjoyed my review of WWE Judgment Day 2002. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Smash the like button, click the bell, click the like. Subscribe to the Central Man Network on YouTube for more, be part of the Central Unit for more wrestling videos and more. Next time, let's go back to 97. See how Stone Cold Steve Austin, speaking of Austin and Undertaker, see how Austin do well in his first world title match in his career. Oh, actually, in the WWF. When he faced The Undertaker. I'm talking about Cold Day in Hell. In Your House, Cold Day in Hell, 97. So, this is the Central Man Official signing out. Check you later.